Welcome to Warblog. This is just a quick sort of development video, but it's a bit more than that, in the sense that I'm developing a game as well. So this is Operation Fireball, which is pretty much done actually. The only reason I haven't put the screenshot together is because I haven't done it, but it's otherwise sort of complete. But the key thing here is that I'm introducing a new concept called Surveillance. So essentially the Boko Haram units are all sort of in here. I know I'm jumping the gun here because I haven't done it yet, but I'm just sort of talking aloud really and introducing the concept. So obviously we've got some drones, but we can't see anyone. Now the way we find people is by moving the units around and hoping we run into them. But it's going to be, I think, better to use these drones. And I've got a couple of links down in there. I opened them before because I did this video game but I messed it up. But it's all about military airstrikes. So this is a November article. This is the October one. So Operation Fireball is the final onslaught against Boko Haram insurgency. It's the final onslaught. So it's all over now. The decade-long insurgency is now over. I'm pretty sure in here it will probably. I know in here they've got airstrikes, so the Air Task Force of Operation Lafayette, which I think Fireball is part of that, or the other way around. So I'm pretty sure that they're using the Nigerian Air Force, although they're to engage locations for spotting. To be quite honest, I haven't really got my head around it to the extent I know what I want to call it. I've called it surveillance. I don't want to call it spotting or sort of forward observation, because it sounds too sort of insignificant. So surveillance, but I'm sure there's another word. But anyway, so currently if we sort of do that, nothing happens, fortunately. Before because I have pop-ups that show me what's what, and they were still popping up. I've disabled them, so that's why I did the video again. But it's not actually finished yet. I am jumping the gun. I don't know if I've said that already. No, I said it in the last video, possibly this one, but we've got this new feature here. I thought they had mouse overs, but obviously not. But if I click it, you won't notice anything, but all the enemy units should disappear, in theory. Because there's none there, you can't see them disappear. So I'm just going to close it. But now we're in surveillance mode, which means if I now put this into this hex here, I go to surveillance page. Thank whatever. Thank the heavens for that. It's worked. But as you can see, it's sort of not ideal. But that's as far as I've got. But this is like all the hard stuff. Well, maybe it's not all the hard stuff, but I think what we're going to see in here is the full hex. So we'll somehow have all the hexes around, or not. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to do it. But basically, you would then select which unit you want, and it would only have the drones. I don't think I'm going to have aircraft doing surveillance, so it'll only be the drones. You'll click it, and then you'll sort of click. Obviously the button's not showing here for some reason, but I haven't got anywhere near the next stage, and then you click sort of go, and it will look in the hex you're in, and it will give you like a 50% chance plus your score or something like that. I haven't actually figured it out yet. with a maximum of 95% chance. So this one would be an 80% chance of finding something in here, and then in all the surrounding hexes it would be a 30% chance. It would be your score, and so, or something like that. I want to figure it. I want to have a think about it, but the actual weighting of the factors isn't actually the difficult bit. The difficult bit is finding all the units and then writing the code to do the loops to run through, finding things, etc. But basically, that's pretty much what's going to happen. So it's now not in surveillance mode because we've come out, but if we wanted to go back in, we could. So now we can do surveillance. So sort of, this is only part of the way through. I mean, I'm jumping the gun, so it's sort of the exciting stuff is yet to happen. But I just, it was only an hour ago I thought of doing this, and I sort of just added it, and because I think it would be quite interesting actually to introduce that, because I know we've got a few other, especially in particular some Boko Haram ones, because the Boko Haram units are randomly located. So we don't know where they're going to be. So it's not as though they're always in Mafa, or they're always in this hex, or they're always in this hex. We don't know where they're going to be. I know that the random hexes they can be in is defined. But beyond that, we don't know where they're going to be. So for example, if I had this, and this as their definition, they could be either there, or there. But I've sort of put, this hex is in there, this hex is in there, this hex is in there. I'm not saying they are, but it could be. So we don't know where they're going to be, and the variance makes it completely uncertain. But what you'll be able to do then instead of, say, having, for example, if you went down this road, you would just go down this road. If there was something there, you wouldn't spot it. I don't have a problem with that, but the thing is, it means you've got to go into every hex. So in order to do this area, you've got to go into this hex, this hex, this hex, and then go into this one, this one, this one. And it's a bit stupid, because then you have to sort of keep doing these swirly patterns to move everywhere. Now, if you were doing that ground assault like that, that may help. But what you really want to do, you want to be driving these units to the Boko Haram units, and ideally, the best way to do that is to spot them with your drones. So if I was to put my drone there, I would then get a certain chance of spotting something there and a certain chance of spotting all around there. And again, it's another one of these things that I think you could benefit from printing the map out and marking off where you've done things. And I'm pretty sure that they have to keep an eye out where they've been looking, and anyway. But so I'm quite interested in getting this next stage done, but I've got to sleep. I'm going to sleep now. But it's a miracle that I actually managed to do what I did. But I'm going to have a little blast on this anyway. So we know that they're around the Lake Chad area and the Sambisa forest area. It also says the Mandera Mountains, but that seems to be more in Cameroon. This is Cameroon. So I'm going to split my force up into two. It's not possible to do that. I know that there's less up here, so I'm going to send this task force this way. And they do start from Maiduguri. And we're going to send these guys through Sambisa forest. Okay. Right. Right, so the Boko Haram haven't got any units to move, so that's the end of their turn. I haven't put any objectives in here. These are sort of objectives, but they're only. I haven't actually finished this game yet, so I'm not going to. I don't know how I'm going to. I've just put these in there as sort of place markers. I don't even know where they are. I did try to look for Nijima, but appears to be in sort of like Indonesia or something. So. Okay, I was just wondering. I was just beginning to wonder whether or not I'd made a mistake, and because I thought I thought there'd be something in there, but I don't know why. There's no reason for it. I just thought the chances of getting something should have been a bit higher, but I don't know why. So we're beginning to split up anyway. I'll leave that so we can go in a line, but we've got some action down here. Contact. So let's send in some airstrikes on that. Okay, I'm not going to put the drones in there just because I don't feel like running the risk of losing them, and I'd like to maybe play a bit safer. I'm going to maybe leave the drones out, but we should be able to get good odds now. Okay, so we pushed them back into Cameroon. So obviously they can stay in the Cameroon border, possibly go to Magdimi, which is probably a big Boko Haram smuggling hub, disguised as sheep herders. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. We don't appear to be able to get in there. Because it's swamp. Have a look. Yep, motorized 6.1, mechanized 6.1. Basically means we can't go in there. So I'll have to think about how I'm going to provide them the capability of going in there. Except, when I do get the surveillance going, I'll be able to do that. So that's an interesting perspective. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to do a really long video. It was really just an introduction to this scenario as well, because I think it's interesting. And I know I'm jumping the gun a bit, but I'm like that, so it doesn't. Okay. But I'll leave it at that, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to sort it out so that it's all running. So we got surveillance, and that popped out of nowhere. I had a major project that I've been working through, and I just finished it. So I thought I would celebrate by applying some time to Warblog, because I feel so guilty about having not done much over the Christmas period because I was just on something else. But I've finished it now, so but that doesn't mean I'm not going to. I don't have other things to do, because I do. But anyway, that's all by the by. Yeah, so stay tuned anyway, and you know, continual development. That's the main thing, and I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.